Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Commerce and Management Studies. So in the today's video, I'm going to talk about channel management decisions. We are doing a playlist on the third P, which is the place element of the marketing management. This is the third lecture. In the first lecture, we did about what are channels of distribution and what are channel design decisions, as in how does a marketer designs a channel. If you have not watched the video, I request you to go and please check out that video. The description, the link for the video is there in the description box. In this video, in the second lecture, we talk about what are the different types of intermediaries. Now in the third lecture, I'm going to talk about the channel management decision. So first of all, a quick, reintroduction. See, channel design decisions. Whenever a marketer decides that what kind of channel of distribution it wants to follow, then those are called channel design decisions, right? Once your channel has been decided, let's say I have decided that I want to use 2 wholesalers and 5 agents. This is the channel that I have decided to follow. So the channel has been designed. Now I have to manage that channel. Now I have to make sure that the channel works perfectly fine in the future. So these are called channel management decisions. So definitely they start after your channel has been designed, right? So let's just start studying about channel management decisions in detail. All right. So first of all, as I mentioned, after the decisions of the various channel alternatives, what channel should I follow, what channel should I not follow, after those have been decided, the company goes on to decide to how to manage the channel, right? So company has to work like, whatever channel they have designed, now they have to implement it. Now they have to manage the selected channel. So let's just see. So these are the various steps in the channel management decisions. You have to select the channel. For example, I have decided that I want to use 2 wholesalers. Now, who are going to be those 2 wholesalers? Whether that's going to be company A, B, C, X, Y, Z, whatever. So I have to select those, intermediaries. I have to train them. I have to keep them motivated. I have to evaluate their performance. And I might have to modify them according to their performance in future. So these are the 5 simple steps in the channel management decision: selecting, training, motivating, evaluating, and modifying. Let's understand them in detail. So first is selected. Once the channel design has been decided, now the company will go on to actually finally select the actual people. Now there are going to be various criteria on the basis of which you are going to select the wholesaler. For example, I decided that in market A, I want 2 wholesalers. Now there might be 10 wholesalers in that market. On what basis I'm going to select those 2 wholesalers? So these are the selection criteria. So these are the bases on which I'm going to select. It's a little blur, but I think it's readable. All right. First of all, what are their financial conditions? Like the wholesaler that I want to select, how much purchase he can do with me? How much credit facility he can give me? What is his financial strength? What is his whole, sales strength? How much, the market that wholesaler has? How many product lines has? Is he selling my competitor's product? What kind of product is he selling? What is his reputation in the market? What is his market coverage? What has been his sales performance? How is the management working? What is the ability of the management? What is the attitude of that person? What is the size of that person? How large is that firm? Whatever wholesaler or agent I'm selecting, how good is that person? These are the various criteria on the basis of which the company will select the channel members. So this is the first, step in the channel management decisions, that you have to select the channel members. For example, when Toyota, I have given some example, when Toyota came with the Lexus line in US, they had no trouble in selecting the people, because so many people, wanted to sell that product that they had to turn down some of the sellers that we cannot sell through you. So this is one example. But on the other hand, when US Time Company, it's a very prestigious company, they tried to, they entered into inexpensive Timex watches. Other than that, the Timex watches are very expensive. They are, they are a status symbol. But they came up with an inexpensive line. But what happened? Their original channel of distribution, they generally sold their expensive watches through prestigious stores, jewelry stores. But when they came up with their inexpensive watches, these prestigious stores or these jewelry stores, they refused to sell their products, because of course the channel members declined the offer. So they had to change their channel of distribution altogether, and they have to sell their inexpensive watches through mass merchandise stores. So these can be various examples on how your channel members are important, on what criteria, on what basis you have to select your channel members. So that's the first step in the channel management decision. Moving ahead, then comes training the channel members. It is very important that the people who are actually your resellers, who are working with you, they need to be trained. Why? Because for the final consumers, They are the company. For example, tomorrow if I go to a certain shop and I buy, let's say, any product, maybe the manufacturer of the product is different, but for me, that shopkeeper is selling that product, right? So the ultimate consumer, ultimate end user will view the intermediary as the final company, right? So these intermediaries are not, they are not just the intermediaries, they are your partners, they are your actually brand ambassadors. So it is very important, they need to be trained, they need to be given field training, orientation programs, they need to be introduced about the product, about the paperwork that has to be done. Let's say, for example, an LIC agent, you go and you decide to buy an insurance policy, an agent comes to you, and that agent is not aware of the policy's terms and conditions, that agent is not aware of the paperwork that needs to be done. What is going to be your impression of the LIC insurance? You're going to feel, okay, what kind of company is this? They are not even training their people. So that is why it is very important to train the channel members, because they are ultimately viewed as the company by the end users. So about the paperwork, how to take care of the company's product, technical training, orientation training, servicing training, all kinds of training you need to give to the channel members. So this is specifically, for example, technical training goes to the product which are very highly technical in nature. For example, computers, home appliances, all these things, they are very technical products. So the people who are selling them, they need to be trained on these products, right? So that's the second step, training your channel members. You have to properly train them on how to handle and sell your products to the final consumer. Then comes motivating the channel members. It is very important that the channel members should be, the intermediaries should be happy being connected with you. Company not only sells through intermediaries, it sells with them. If the intermediaries will grow, the company will grow. The company has to, keep that in mind. They are their first line customers. In fact, they are their partners. If they grow, if they are happy, the company will grow. Hence, it is very important for the company to have a strong relationship management with their intermediaries if they want to deliver value, right? So motivating the channel members is very, very important. How do you do that? You have to find out what are the needs and the problems of the channel members. If they are not able to sell the product as much as they should, the company should go and find out what are their problems and help them resolve them. Offer them the support, provide them leadership, give them proper training. It's very important to motivate them. Why is it important? There are many, many advantages. Number one, it will build the preference of their brand. If the channel member is happy being associated with the company, it will give preference to your brand. They will actively promote your product to the customers over the competitor's product. You must have seen when you go to a shop, a retailer says this product is better, this is not better, because he is giving preference of one brand over the other, because he is happy with the connection with one of the product. Then increases sales through channels. Of course, you can always motivate your channel members with the financial incentives. You can give them discounts if they sell in bulk, or if they purchase the product in bulk from you, offer them discounts, reward them with bonuses. This way the channel members will stock more and then they will sell in more. So that's how it works. Increase the sales through the channels. And it adds values to the product. Definitely, if every people is happy being associated with you, it builds strong relationship. It adds to the value that you're offering to the final customers. So motivation helps builds very, very good relationships, and these relationships will also help you to launch a new product or a market campaign. You must have seen whenever a new iPhone or a new Samsung phone comes into the market, it is everywhere in the market. Everybody is talking about them because they have very, very good relationships with their intermediaries. So that's very important. Then, so we have done selecting the channel members, we have done training the channel members, we have done motivating the channel members. Then comes evaluating the channel members. It is very important to evaluate their performance from time to time. How are they actually performing? How much are they selling? How much, sales they are bringing into the company at the end of the day. So hence, there should be a comprehensive and a periodic review. So what can be the criteria of performance? It's not just the sales numbers. Of course, they are very important, but inventory, how much stock they are keeping with them, how much credit facilities they are giving, what is their selling capabilities. Whether or not they're bringing the sales number, that's fine, but what is their selling capabilities? What is the attitude of the channel members? How much competition do they have? In that particular market, how many more intermediaries are there? And what are their growth prospects? Here I would like to mention, online marketing. Online marketing today has a huge and abundant growth prospects, and hence everybody is there. So these are the various criteria of performance on the basis of which you can evaluate your channel members. Scope and frequency, how much should you evaluate them? Should you do monthly evaluation? Should you do yearly evaluation? Should you do weekly evaluation? That will depend on, number one, degree of control, how much control you have over the intermediaries. Sometimes intermediaries are stronger than the manufacturers. For example, there might be a very small manufacturer, let's say, who makes soaps. He doesn't have a very renowned brand, but he is selling his product through, let's say, a very very big market, for example Big Bazaar. In this case, Big Bazaar is an intermediary. That manufacturer of soap is the person who is actually making the product. So in this case, intermediary is stronger. In this case, manufacturer has a lesser control over the intermediary, so he cannot really evaluate the performance of the intermediaries, right? So degree of control that you have. What is the importance of the channel member? For example, Amul sells its products like milks, and it is selling through every shop in the country, every minor kirana shop in the country. So what is the importance of the channel member? They cannot evaluate each and every shop, so because there are so many of them. So that also depends, what is the nature of the product, what kind of product you are selling, and number of channel members involved. If your product is being sold through very very exclusive channels of distribution, very very selective channels of distribution, then you can evaluate them pretty quickly. But if you are selling through abundance intensive channel, it's very difficult to evaluate their performance. So how much you're going to evaluate, that will depend on various criteria. And under the evaluation only, what corrective actions you can take. If you find that they are not able to meet the standards, the performance is not able to meet the standards, what corrective actions you can take. Termination should be the last resort. If, let's say, a particular intermediary is not giving you that much result, you just cannot go and terminate the contract. You should find out other steps, like find out what is the problems, why are they not able to sell, give them support, give them leadership, understand their problems. If you're able to resolve them, great. If you're not, then of course you can go to terminations. So these are the certain things that you have to do under evaluating the channel members. And last comes modifying the channel members. As I started this playlist, I told you place decision is very very important, because your channel of distributions are very costly, number one, and they have a very long term implication. It is very difficult to modify the channel of distribution. But if the company doesn't have any option, if the complete sales are not working, then in that case they might go ahead and modify the channels of distribution. So it can be modified when, number one, it is not working as planned. Consumers' buying pattern has changed. Today we have very clearly seen that customer is buying majorly through online, and people are very less preferring the retail stores. So the buying patterns have changed. Let's say the markets have expanded. Today, companies are trying to reach the rural markets also. It's a well-known study that urban markets have come to the saturation. Companies are not able to increase the sales. So what they're doing, they're entering the rural India. So the market has expanded. New competition has come. New types of products are coming into the market, and they are selling their product through different channels. So you might have to follow the lead. And products have moved to the later stage of PLC. PLC is product life cycle. If your product, every product has a life cycle. I have made a video on this topic also. You can just check out on the channel. So product life cycle is what? Every product has a life cycle. Every product, it comes into the market, it grows into the market, it enters a maturity stage, then it declines. So if your product is moving through these life cycles, let's say your product is now in the declining stage. So, at that time, the sales go less, the sales go very, very less. So in that case, you might have to reduce your channels of distribution. You might have to reduce the extra cost. So that will depend upon the PLC stage. So these are the various stages when you might have to modify the channels of distribution. So these are the 5 steps that the marketer needs to follow in case of managing the channel of distribution. Selecting the channel, training the channel, motivating the channel, evaluating the channel performance, and then modifying the channel members. So these are the steps in the channel management decision. So I hope you all like the video. I hope you all understand the concept. In the next video, I'm going to talk about physical distribution. What is logistics? What is inbound logistics? What is outbound logistics? This is the topic that we are going to discuss in the next video. Till then, keep learning. Thank you so much.